anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it. Pause. Think about the last time you were angry. Not mildly irritated, but fully taken over. Your chest tightened, your thoughts sped up. You replayed what happened again and again, each time making it worse. Maybe you said something you didn't mean, maybe you didn't say anything, but you carried it for hours or days. Now consider this, the Stoics didn't see anger as just a strong emotion. They saw it as a kind of temporary madness, not poetic madness, not metaphorical, actual insanity. A moment where your ability to reason goes offline, and if that sounds extreme, good, because until you see anger clearly, you'll keep treating it like something justified instead of something dangerous. Modation problem. We live in a time where anger feels normal, almost expected. Scroll through social media, sit in traffic, read the news. Deal with work, there's always something provoking you, and anger hides itself as stress, as frustration, as being right. But the real problem isn't anger, it's that we trust it. We assume that because something feels justified, it is justified. The Stoics challenge that completely. Seneca was a Roman philosopher, a statesman, an advisor to Emperor Nero. He lived in chaos, political intrigue, exile, executions, betrayal. And yet he wrote an entire work called On Anger, where he argued something radical. Anger is never useful. Not sometimes, not occasionally, never. This went against common belief. Even philosophers like Aristotle thought anger had a place. Seneca disagreed. To him, anger wasn't a tool, it was a loss of control, a collapse of reason. Once it takes hold, you're no longer deciding, you're being driven. And he wasn't speaking from theory. He was speaking from survival. No plague has cost the human race more dearly. That's how Seneca described anger. Not inconvenient, catastrophic. Because anger overrides your ability to reason. When you're angry, you don't just feel differently, you think differently, you assume intent, you exaggerate harm, you narrow your focus until all you can see is the offense. Anger is a judgment that something bad happened and must be punished. And once you accept that, it spreads, it intensifies, it consumes, and it feels justified. That's the danger. Now imagine this, you get a message. Need this fixed, no greeting, no context. Your mind fills in the gaps. They don't respect you, they're dumping work on you. You get irritated, then angry later. You realize they were just in a rush, but the damage is done, not to them, to you. So here's the practice. Pause. Ask yourself, what else could this mean? Not to excuse others, but to protect your clarity. Your first interpretation is rarely the most accurate. We are not carried away by anger. We step into it. This is uncomfortable because it means you participate in your anger. The first reaction? Automatic. You don't control that. But what comes next? You do. You either agree with it or question it. Anger grows when you feed it, when you replay the moment, when you add story. Anger is not one moment, it's a process, and you have influence over it. Think about driving. Someone cuts you off. Your body reacts instantly. That's natural. But then you start talking to yourself, what an idiot. People like this shouldn't drive. You replay it. You imagine confrontation. Now the anger grows. 5 minutes later, they're gone, but you're still angry. That's the part you control. So here's the skill. Interrupt it. Say to yourself, this is the start of anger, not I am angry. Just observe it. Then shift your body. Take a slow breath, relax your shoulders, loosen your jaw. Because anger lives in the body too. Don't feed it, and it fades. How much more harmful are the consequences of anger than the causes of it? That's Marcus Aurelius. The original problem is small, but your anger makes it bigger. Because anger lingers. It shapes your mood, your decisions, your relationships. Often, the other person has moved on, but you haven't. You carry it, you replay it, you suffer it. Anger becomes self-inflicted. You become both victim and enforcer. Think about an argument. Someone says something careless, you feel hurt. But instead of addressing it, you hold on to it, you build a story. By the time you talk again, it's no longer about the comment, it's about everything you added, and it escalates. So ask yourself, what is the cost of holding on to this? Your mood, your focus, your peace. Then ask, what do I gain from staying angry? Usually, nothing. Modern psychology agrees with this. Cognitive behavioral therapy says your emotions come from your interpretations, not the event itself. Event, interpretation, emotion. Same pattern the Stoics saw. You can challenge your thoughts. Is this accurate? Is there another explanation? Anger also feeds on distortions. Mind reading, catastrophizing, personalizing. And when you act on anger, you reinforce it. You train your brain to repeat it. The Stoics understood this. Expression doesn't release anger. It strengthens it instead. Pause. Reframe. Choose. You are not your first reaction. You are what you choose next. Try this for 7 days. The anger audit at the end of each day. Write one moment you felt anger. What triggered it? What you thought, what you did. Then ask, was my interpretation the only one? What would a calmer version of me do? No judgment, just observation. You'll start to see patterns, same triggers, same thoughts, same reactions. And once you see the pattern, you can change it. Because next time, you'll recognize it. This is that moment again, and that gives you space. Even 1 second is enough. Seneca's warning isn't about guilt, it's about clarity. Anger costs you your time, your focus, your peace. And the alternative isn't weakness, it's control. The ability to respond instead of react. If you want to go deeper, read On Anger by Seneca. It's short, but it stays with you. Because once you see anger clearly, it stops feeling like power and starts looking like something else. Something you don't have to obey.